Please like and subscribe to the Couch and the Rube YouTube channel. Also download podcast episodes wherever you get your podcasts. For sponsorship opportunities, email Jason at couchandtherube.com.
What do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube, our Monday show. Today presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. If you want to bet on the Surging Tigers, the Surging Pistons, if you just want to get on board and add some money to your good vibes, download the Firekeepers app today, or Firekeepers iCasino app today, I should say, or swing on down by the Dacey's Taproom and Sportsbook off I-94 in Battle Creek. Get the in-house sportsbook experience with the casino floor as your backdrop. Great restaurants, just good vibes there on I-94 in Battle Creek at Firekeepers Casino. And our Monday show also presented by our friends at Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask & Company Kitchen and Bar. Looking for a place to watch the game, a date night, a great lunch. Maybe you've got to impress some people who are in town, some clients, whatever it might be. Front 43 and Cask & Company are here for you. You want to make a reservation? Want the certain booth you want in the restaurant? Go to caskandcompany.com. You can ask for it there. It's really easy to do. Front 43 and Cask & Company to the Lansing, East Lansing border. The original Couch and the Rube sponsor. How you doing, brother?
What did we tell you? What did we tell you? Ah! What did we tell you? What did we tell you? Come here and take it. Ah! Let's go.
Oh, man. What's up, buddy? It's good to see you.
You too.
You're looking great.
Yeah?
Yeah. How about those Pistons?
I'm dropping weight, you know.
Are you?
Yeah. Don't have time to eat, that sort of thing. And
so you're blaming the child for not eating.
Well, it's good for you. You know, she's been good for my habits because whenever I leave her for a few minutes, she screams her head off. And so there's no time to just like scour like Raccoon Graham can't come out the way he
So less about you, more about the kid now.
Yeah.
I got
That's it. A little bit of purpose in life.
is boring.
Yeah.
I was
Still
able to
right
go
on
over
there.
to some friend's house to watch the game last night, by the way. Or
You were
yesterday
allowed?
afternoon. Yeah, allowed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, what goes on during that? Like, you have to check in constantly?
No, not at all. No, just my wife was like,
You guys
yeah,
need
go
to be
have fun.
away from each other anyway, right?
We want to make sure, you know, as anybody does, you got to have things for yourself in life still.
Sure.
You're maybe not able to go as often as you used to, but if you can't get away a little bit, then what's the point?
So did you get hammered? Or?
No, I did a little bit of whiskey. You know, I wanted to introduce her to whiskey breath along with coffee breath, just so she really gets all the smells.
Yeah, but nobody likes hungover dad. I guess at one, you know. She's under that, obviously, but yeah,
She
she's
doesn't
too
know
young to know
on.
what's going on.
She's like, just give me the goods, give me the breast milk, give me the formula, whatever I need right now. I want it, and that's
keep the story short, Dad. But
yeah.
Maybe that milk.
By the way, one of my friends over there had a muskox flannel on when show listener as well. So
and he wore it because he knew you were coming over.
I think he just wore it because that's what you do.
Wenzel?
That's what you do.
Did you go to Wenzel's?
It was not. It was not. We also, by the way, took Cora on her first stroller ride last night.
Oh yeah.
Wrapped her up in a muskox, took her out. So it was good.
Nice.
Good. She was very, very content with that.
Sounds like you guys are having fun.
We're doing well.
Yeah?
We're doing well. And the Pistons are doing well. We're going to get into everybody's hot takes here in momentarily.
Unbelievable, that game Friday.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it so much.
Well, let's dig in.
I'm just saying, have you ever seen anything in my 67 years of watching NBA basketball? I have never seen a collapse. I mean, the Orlando Magic are who we thought they were, right? To watch that game, I mean, forget about the game yesterday because that was a Graham Couch 2009 put your house on Pistons money line yesterday, even though I think I saw some minus 310s out there somewhere. But right after that game Friday, they go from being up 24 points to all of a sudden a quarter later, the crowd, they're playing Don't Stop Believin' by Journey in the arena in Orlando, getting booed out of the arena.
Yeah.
having to get on a plane to fly to Detroit. By the way, Desmond Bane, 4 first-round picks, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Not great.
Is that overpay? I mean, even when it was before the series where they looked like a complete joke. But before, I mean, Desmond Bane, I didn't know that. I totally forgot about that.
So they are an example, and this is the danger the Pistons are going to be in now with Jalen Duren, who's lost a fair bit of money, I think, this postseason. But they are a great example of, in this new era, why it's dangerous to lock guys up. I still think they have a lot of talent there. They're going to need a new coach. They already fired their coach today. But, like, you know, you look at Franz.
Dusty May?
Franz, incredibly injury-prone, Franz Wagner. And Paolo was really good in this series, but he's been inefficient.
Flopper.
And they paid those two guys, and they paid Bane a fair bit. Like, these guys they don't have any flexibility. You really have to be careful on this stuff, because once you pay guys, like, you ought to be good enough to win a championship. There's no that you have to fire the coach. And I'm not saying the coach should have not been fired. They were talking about firing him for a long time, but there's no other way out. It has to be and frankly, players have to understand that now. When you are a max player in the NBA, if you're one of the two on a team, they can afford these days. Occasionally 3 if they have nothing else going for them. But if you're short of a championship, that's on you, and you need to understand that you're not good enough, and that you either ought to take a payroll or a pay cut or be cut or whatever, because you have to.
Well, you were good enough unless you put up just the historic terrible shooting, in Game 6. You should have won that series, right? You're up 3-1. I mean, we were dead. I didn't recognize the team. Like, I didn't know what was going on. And then, back to Duren. It's like after the game, he's talking about, I know who I am. I know who the team is. That's his quote. Outside noises, whatever it is. Like, do these guys, they understand why the outside noise was what it was, right? Like, we were just concerned. This was the opposite of any team we watched this year. So the 60-win team, and now it's like, what, your backs were against the wall? No one believed you? Well, like, no shit. I'm sorry. It's hard when you're down 24. I wasn't excited. I was not excited. I had the game on. It was great to watch the comeback on Friday night, but I'm not going to sit there and tell you it was like a diehard and be like, oh, yeah, no, we're going to come back and win this game. I mean, it's just like, what is this mentality with some of these guys?
Most people that I've talked to turned it off at some point.
You should have.
And then got an update that, oh, they're tied, or, oh, it's close, or, oh, they got the lead. Because, I mean,
Orlando can't hit a basket. That was the crazy part. Every time Orlando came down.
I didn't watch the third quarter. I thought that thing's over.
Right.
And then you realize, oh, it's close. And, okay. Because I get the Pistons scores, like, at the top of my phone, and all of a sudden I see it, and I'm like, huh, okay. And so that it's incredible that first of all, it was a 55-19, 57-19, whatever that run was. Kudos to the Pistons. The Magic should be embarrassed. I get the Franz Wagner stuff. Like everybody's saying, if he had been healthy, they would have at least won Game 6. Yeah, they probably would have. But part of the problem with him is he's had these injuries, and your best ability is your availability, right? Look, if there are lots of ifs and buts in sports. If Jaden Ivey a year ago when he was starting to surge doesn't have that leg injury where he loses his explosiveness, and now he's spiraled in other ways. But like, if that doesn't happen, who knows where he is with the Pistons right now from that a year ago? Lots of things go wrong. I mean, it's a sport that requires, look at the number of guys getting hurt right now. It requires a lot of luck. It requires a lot of ability to stay on the court. And that's just part of the game. Is there
more injuries or something? I think we just know more.
No, I think
these guys are out, especially with baseball. We've talked about it before, but there's just like everything is a twinge and hurts.
What I think with basketball, I think it's harder to play the sport today than it's ever been in terms of what's demanded of the body. And the players are more athletic.
What? There's a stoppage every 12 seconds.
I know, but the plays they actually do play, it requires more of you. There's more athleticism,
because you have
speed.
To be faster.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
these guys are faster, bigger. Okay.
Yeah, the whole thing's just it's a different pace, you're up against different level athletes.
60-38 at halftime, and they lost by 14. They lost by 14, and the one that leg of the parlay that you were going to add to your soccer ass parlay of the Magic plus 13. That would have been oh man, if you really did bet. Did you bet that?
I did bet that.
Oh no.
It's 13.5. And they lost by 14. I was in a really weird place at the end of that game because I was like,
were you?
Very happy that the Pistons had done what they had done. But
why were you in a weird place though?
Because I was like, can we just keep this to 12? Just make it 12. Don't need it to be 14.
Yeah, but you deserved that though.
Yeah. That was like the final leg of a parlay. It was Magic plus 13.
1 for 20 shooting, 5% field goal percentage in the fourth. I mean, I guess you could say Franz Wagner would have helped out.
Oh, sure.
You know,
they probably win the
I guess
game.
you could say that.
Yeah. Well,
they still would have lost by what? 6?
Yeah. Yeah, would have helped if the Pistons got Wemby, in the draft, a couple years ago when they had the worst pick or worst record in the
we
draft
saw your
lottery.
tweet.
Yeah,
we know your take.
Sorry,
Jesus.
Ifs and buts, right? I mean, that's pro sports are full of.
If you like Graham, you know his takes.
Yeah,
And
and with Jalen Duren, I thought that frankly,
I still need to see more.
Yeah.
Before we do this, I'm sorry, I'm not. This doesn't end things. Like I just was watching those guys, and it was it's great to beat Orlando, but on to Cleveland, and I don't know. I mean, what team is going to show up? It's a long series.
This is a great shot for Duren because he's going against good size and good talent, and he's got a chance to. But I just don't see it when I watch him play right now. He played. I thought he played a good game for a guy who's like a fourth guy who's a good contributor on a great team the other day, but that's not what he's looking to get paid as. He's looking to get paid as number 2.
He was kind of loafing in some of these games.
He looks way too much like Andre Drummond sometimes.
Oh.
It's a little scary with the way he moves. I don't know what's going on there.
Not a very nice comparison.
I'm sorry.
I mean, if you are mentioned in the same sentence as Andre Drummond, you should not get the Supermax.
Greg Monroe?
Fuck, even worse, almost. Andre Drummond's still in the league.
Yeah.
He still can cash and checks as much as I can't stand him. But, yeah, that was the big talk. But back in the day, remember with Andre Drummond, everybody was like, oh, you got to pay Andre Drummond. And I felt the same way with Duren. I just, what is he going to have to do, not only in this Cleveland series? Like, if he has a decent Cleveland series, the Pistons lose, I'm still like, I don't know. He's going to have to do a lot more to earn this contract, right? I just can't watch that Orlando. I'm sorry that you guys just didn't look like you liked each other whatsoever. And everybody's, oh, these dogs, you can't take this dog out of us. I'm like, I'm sorry, what now? I can't? So I don't know. We shouldn't even have this podcast. You can't say anything after games because you're giving up on your guys.
The other thing from this series that was interesting to watch is, Orlando is not, is losing a 3-1 lead. Things aren't going well. And the guy who doesn't really get off the bench is Jase Richardson. And look, lots of guards who are first-round picks take a little while to come into their own. We've seen it.
Let me guess the take. You should have stayed.
MSU,
not from you. I'm saying from some of the people.
I do want to point out to people the finances of. I mean, Michigan State has had a lot of bad timing with a lot of things in terms of and trying to get a title number 2 for Izzo or another national championship. And this,
but every program has those, right?
A lot of them have them. But Michigan State has had.
Seems like Michigan State has the most.
Certainly had its share, and this is some injury-laden stuff. This is you go back to, Kalen Lucas and the timing of that tearing his Achilles, and what happened in 2014. There have been a number of them on that front. There have also been the timing now of like this 5-for-5 eligibility ruling that allows players 5 years. Or 5 seasons and over 5 years, but doesn't work for them with Carson Cooper, for example, right? And so there's a lot of that.
The urinal or portal.
Another interesting timing thing is if Jace Richardson had come along a year later, say the NIL world had converged with college basketball a year later than it did, or whatever. So this offseason was last offseason in terms of where NIL was. It might have been much more reasonable to keep him for another year. And I want to give people something. He made about $3 million for the Orlando Magic this past year. And
match it.
Well, so again, this year, that would have been a more reasonable thing to do. My guess is that's in the sphere of the realm of where you get a guy like Jeremy Fears Jr., right? And so if that would have made some sense. The money keeps moving up. The money a year ago in Michigan State's program and a lot of programs wasn't quite that high. Certainly, people weren't used to there. I'm not saying there weren't a few guys who were up there, but at Michigan State, if he had gotten $1.5 million, half of what he got for the Magic, he would have been the highest paid guy by quite a bit. And again, next year that wouldn't have been the case. So again, the timing of everything, and so the idea of a late first-round pick and even a smaller guard, and so. Traditionally, if you're going to be a first-round pick and you're a smaller guard, it's probably time to go whenever you get that opportunity. A year later, maybe it makes sense. I understand why he went. Doesn't mean I'd be very curious to talk to him now about this. Does he wish he'd stayed?
I don't want to know.
You don't want to know?
No,
because Gary Harris wished he stayed.
I don't want. Yeah, I just want Jace to say, nah, I was going to the NBA the whole time. Because if he says that, and then like your what ifs, it's just like I don't even. What's the point of even?
Yeah, it makes the what if
What
worse.
if there wasn't COVID in 2020? They didn't cancel the NCAA tournament. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean,
This is ass.
There's lots of those things, and this is another one where the timing for Michigan State has not been great. And the Joey Hauser transfer sit out deal in 2019-20, that is not one of them because of the COVID season. Like having an informed Joey Hauser coming off the Marquette transfer in 2019-20 with the rest of that roster, with Xavier Tillman, with Cassius Winston, yes, it might have pushed them over the top. However, the season was still going to be ruined by COVID, right? So it only would have made it worse in some ways.
Still counts as getting screwed.
Yeah. But this is one of those things where I think financially people have said, why didn't they just – I mean, a year ago, the money wasn't what it is now, even across the board, or if it was just
But the money for Jace was going to be there this year,
right?
If he went out in the draft, right? Like, okay, so he would have got paid –
well, no, you don't know.
He would have been paid 1.5 or whatever.
Well, so let's say he got paid 1.5 last year at Michigan State, okay? Mm-hmm. And then you go out. The problem is when you are a 6'1" guard, and you could get hurt again. You're a guy who's had one serious knee injury,
of course.
Like he struck while the iron was hot. I don't blame him for that. And I still think it might have made sense if it was even this year. But this year, at least, the conversation financially could have been different. Now,
under the old rules, I think, when these guys weren't getting paid, I would totally understand that. Just because your dad is rich does not mean that he's just going to hand you money. You have to make your own money. Yeah. But he was doing that at Michigan State. And if he got injured or whatever, believe me, he would have been taken care of. There was a good future for Jace if some unfortunate things would have happened.
And you hope.
So that's why it's a little harder to take when you want your legendary coach to get a second natty.
And you hope for his sake that he winds up having at least a career in the NBA that lasts for a while, and probably be a role player, but that he has a role, that he's a rotation guy in the NBA for a while. And because what you don't want is, and I'm not comparing him to Marcus Taylor in every sense.
Boy, he got the comps today.
No, but Marcus Taylor, when he was at Michigan State as a sophomore, the worst thing that ever happened to him is he got hot in February, and he led the Big Ten in scoring and assists. And that led him to go to the if that doesn't happen,
but Marcus was never really considered an NBA guy,
different guy, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're the same players, but what I'm saying is the timing. If Jace Richardson had developed slightly later, slightly less as a freshman, had not taken over the way he did, it might have been a little bit different conversation.
But we talk about the injuries with Jace and what if on those, but you flip it over and go, well, what if he comes back and leads Michigan State to a Final Four, a championship, and then you get drafted elsewhere, and then you become the main guy instead of having to work your way up through off the bench on a shit team like Orlando.
Yeah, I don't know if he has the ability to be the main guy, but I do think.
Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
A guy like Jalen Brunson. Look at the same kind of, everybody compares Jace to something like that.
If he had come back and averaged 20 a game and taken Michigan State to a Final Four or beyond and stayed healthy, his draft stock was not going to go down.
Got Izzo a second natty, becomes a legend. I mean, man, it seems like it's worth more than a $15 million contract or something, like a rookie contract to me.
It's an interesting discussion.
But I'm 47, and I love Tom Izzo. So it's different from younger people. I get it. You want to make the league. You want to be in that great league that David Stern is rolling over into his grave. By the way, did you see, this is my second kind of, I don't know if it's a take or whatever, but it was just interesting. Last night, Jaylen Brown, after losing Game 7, gets on his Twitch stream and starts shitting on the refs, which rightfully so. I mean, some of these refs are in the flopping in the league. I do appreciate him saying something like that. I wish it was in a different kind of form and media. Like, I just don't know if it's good for your league if your guys are going off on their own channels and just spouting off whatever's on the top of their head.
It's not, and they're not even that good.
I'm not saying just stick to basketball and you're not allowed to talk about other things, but being on a podcast and doing what they're doing, it just can't be right to go on a Twitch stream and just start shitting on the league. It's not something that should be
right. I mean, I guess.
I
mean, if you did it in the form of a. He'll probably get fined for it, because if you did it in the press conference,
these guys don't give a shit.
Yeah, he's making a lot of money.
They make $50 million a year with flopping all over the place. And I'm not saying Detroit Piston players don't, because it's just a part of the league now where these guys, they just drive and get a little bit of contact and throw their arms up in the air, and the ball goes 50 feet to the side and nowhere near the basket. And it's like, oh, there's 2 shots right there. And it's just, I don't know.
Do you remember the time Kenneth Walker wanted to come on through his representatives? Do you remember that?
Here?
Yeah. we talked.
Oh yeah, but they wanted us to pay.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah. This is one of my favorite athlete media conversations about. So this is early days at NIL, right? Really early NIL, and Kenneth Walker's just had this legendary season, and his people, and I don't even know if the season was completely over yet. I don't think it was. It was like the middle of his Heisman campaign, and his people reached out to us about coming on the show. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we'll have him on.
Absolutely.
I wasn't that.
I was fired up.
I mean, Kenneth Walker is like one of the shittier quotes in the world, but he's not actually good content. But it was still Kenneth Walker in the middle of it, so we were happy to do it. And then they wrote back, well, have your people write up, what you can pay, and we'll figure it out. Like, they wanted us to pay for them. And it was one of the rudest things I've ever written to them. I was like, I just said, have you talked to your client before? Like, this is not, I'm not saying that we don't want to have him on, but like,
did you put sincerely Graham Couch? Did you say this is not the Rube talking?
Yeah, no, I signed my name. I just said, look, he's not very good at this stuff. I don't. We're not
trying to make a buck.
We're not going to. First of all, we would never pay because that's like the LSJ. That's just not something you do here. We wouldn't be allowed to do it. But the flip side of that is, if it was somebody who was great, you'd at least be like tempted to think, man. Be fun
not
to
pay though. It'd be like if someone sent me an email like John Daly wants to talk to you. I'm like, oh no way, he wants to come on the show. You just need $1,000. Yeah. He's going to promote all of it.
I had many conversations with Kenneth Walker, and I'm not saying Kenneth Walker can't be a good conversation,
right?
But I never had one, and so like I don't.
What kind of questions were you asking?
Well, I'm just saying, and never once did I see him.
You always put it on the player, but I mean, some of these questions you're probably asking. I mean, what are they supposed to say as some of this shit?
Well, there was
at
least
sideline. The questions on the sideline.
There had to be at least one decent question that whole year. I never heard a response that was interesting. It wasn't.
What was the question?
I don't know.
Right.
I mean, there's many questions. He just wasn't a great conversation. This wasn't like Xavier Henderson.
When you have the ball at the 4-yard line and you're running outside on the edge, what's going through your mind? Was it something like that, or
it doesn't
That's
matter.
what I mean. Like, but if you want some of these players, but it's like,
yeah,
it's like Marshawn Lynch. If you talk to him about X's and O's and shit, I mean, yeah, but if you talk to him about eating Skittles and getting fucking high, and it's like, I'm sure he'll have a great quote about that. Some of these guys want to talk about things outside of that, right? I don't know.
That's what we should do. We should have done that. We should have tried to get him on.
That's what I mean. Like when we were at Big Ten Media Days. And Kenny Willekes was at the table. I'm like, I want to know what Kenny Willekes, like, how does he prep? What does he listen to? Like, what kind of music do you listen to? And he looked at me. He's like, are you really asking me that? I've not been asked any fun questions. I don't even know if that was really fun. But I just was like, the X's and O's of sports get so monotonous and boring. Anyway.
Yeah. I didn't mean to throw Kenneth Walker under the bus. Kenneth Walker was always respectful, and he was good.
Well, you're being honest. I don't think you're throwing him under the bus. You're just saying he wasn't a great interview.
Right.
And it's just like, okay, well, what kind of questions?
And the idea that somebody wanted us to like pay for that was.
Hey, listen, you got to try.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If we were on the other side of that, but yeah, like you said, like But if you were told like you have an interview to do, and they're paying for it, I would be so like, what the fuck do I have to do?
Well, and the other thing is, yeah, if we were paying for it, we'd expect a good interview. Number one, number two. At that stage, this is before the Heisman vote and all that stuff. Like back then, at that stage, before you're drafted, before the Heisman, you should probably be doing all the free media you can do. Not that we're having a reach on a ton of Heisman voters. I'm a Heisman voter. I voted for him, or did I vote for him? I don't even remember. Right?
Better.
I wrote that column about how I was the problem with Heisman voters. I can't even remember what I voted, but I definitely voted him as a finalist.
Oh, you're the problem?
Well, yeah, I did a whole column
Not someone that's given a vote and then two others and then use those two votes to give to other people and then get favors from those people for the ability to vote?
I think I know who you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah. Anyway.
All
right.
What are we talking about?
Last thing from me before we get to the listener takes here.
McGee?
No, we can do McGee if you want. Okay. So Detroit Mercy basketball is going to serve a one-season NCAA tournament ban. Mark Montgomery's program there it's a penalty for low APR marks. I thought we were done with the APR. This is the academic progress rate stuff,
Really?
And this in a world when you couldn't transfer, like open season, the idea that you had to have a decent graduation rate and keep guys in your program to some level, and it helped you not run people out of your program, all that stuff. It made some level of sense, right? This was still tied to college enough. The problem now is, if you're number one, I don't believe the APR stuff should exist anymore. If you're going to allow, if you're the NCAA and you've lost in court on this and you've sort of acquiesced to the idea of unlimited transfers, you can't then require these schools to make sure everybody's in good academic standing who's coming and going. Maybe you can say they have to be, those who are coming to your program have to be in good academic standing, but it's just going to be a mess, a Wild West out there. And then you definitely can't do it to the mid-majors who are already screwed by this. The teams that are losing everybody, these teams are losing like 10 guys a year because all their guys are, delusional and want to transfer up. A lot of them don't. A lot of them, I guarantee you look at like a school like Bowling Green last year that had to replace 10 players off like a 20-win season. Yeah, maybe like 4 of those guys did go up and play at a higher level. Good for them. The other 6 who made the decision to go somewhere made the wrong decision largely. But how are you supposed to keep guys all in good academic standing if they're just leaving content? This pisses me off from the NCAA a lot. The idea that this is still there. I try to occasionally stick up for the NCAA on certain little things, because they do get steamrolled on a lot of this stuff, a lot of the legal fights.
When have you defended the NCAA?
I'm just saying a little sympathy here and there, not a lot, but a little sympathy on a few things. And this makes me want the whole thing to fall apart. This makes me want everything to get blown up, because when these jackasses are coming in and penalizing a program like Detroit that was finally getting some momentum last year. They got to the Horizon League championship game. Montgomery had things going a little bit. They're sure they have to replace a number of guys on the roster. You know how hard it is to recruit a roster with a postseason ban? And you know how unfair it is to put that ban on people after the transfer portal closes? It's complete ass. It's complete ass. I'm pissed off beyond belief on this. There are a few things, like if you're the NCAA and you want any sympathy on anything, this changes. Otherwise, just fuck off. Just fuck all the way off. And this is the same goes with like the NCAA tournament expansion. If you're one of these coaches who's for it, I don't want to hear any of you complaining about anything else. You're on the wrong side of something that everybody else doesn't want. So don't complain about anything. And if you are an NCAA official, or anybody who's using the APR still as something to punish the Cleveland States of the world, why the big schools don't. And we'll see who else got hit by this. Apparently 15 schools. Only a couple have announced it, including like Florida A&M football. We'll see who else got hit. But my guess is it's mostly mid-majors, low majors, schools that have trouble hanging on to guys who are in a world of hurt as it is. And I don't know. This pissed me off to a level where I don't want to hear it from the NCAA. I don't care if they fall apart completely and there's some other institution that sort of runs the championships and everything else. If this is what we're doing right now, it's just tone deaf. And I don't know. It bothered me today, and I feel bad for that program and those guys. Yeah,
dropping F-bombs. Sorry, this guy doesn't even swear on Twitter. I saw him say heck.
Yeah. No,
it's taking it personally.
They should. I mean, there's got to be an attorney out there who wants to go after the NCAA for this. And even if Detroit,
is there money in it?
Detroit doesn't have a lot of money. You can get your name attached to something big. I would sue the pants off.
It's Detroit Mercy, though. Your name's not going to be very many places.
I would go with them as hard as I could if I were Detroit Mercy. What do you got to lose? I mean, this is going to set you back. This is going to set you back significantly.
And speaking of swearing, when did we start censoring shit especially on Twitter? Like I saw Dwayne Casey, JB Bickerstaff's quote about Tobias Harris, and I don't want to hear shit. And people were censoring, like 97.1 censored the word shit. I'm like, why are you guys doing that?
It depends who you work for. And
why does it matter? It's on Twitter, and it's a quote, and you're blurring out one word, and it's the I in shit.
Yeah.
And we all know. I mean, what kids on Twitter are going like, oh my God, this is what people say?
Well, and here's the problem with it is Twitter is such a vile place as is.
That's what I mean.
If you're on Twitter,
dude, one swipe, you're seeing an Indian guy get hit by a train.
Yeah, language is not your problem.
Seeing the word shit ain't gonna stop these kids' problems. They're on TikTok. What does it matter anymore?
It's a really
good Lord, censoring one word in shit. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
saving the world, you guys.
No, it's not
great.
Couch
is on here f-bombing everybody to death. NCAA saying he was sticking up for the NCAA. I think that was the craziest part of the whole thing there.
Yeah,
I need to know when you were sticking up for him. That's more offensive.
I don't. I just had a little bit of sympathy on certain things, but this is one of those things where you're just being a jerk. You're being a bully in the few places you have left, and it makes you so unsympathetic that it's I don't know. I'm not against college sports being tied to college, but if you were going to do that, it's a little late now, right? APR is such a selective punishment. It's such
for a year.
Yeah, it's just, and
All right.
I'm really bothered by this. Should we dig into these listener takes?
By God, let's do it. Up first, Eric Schultz. Number one, while Izzo is obviously under no job loss pressure, next season will be his highest pressure season since '98. If they can't be a true contender, it'll mean 7+ years of multiple groups of failing to live up to the program standard. The evidence will be overwhelming that he can't do it in this era. And two, that said, I think they're going to be really good next year, and everything I said in one will be irrelevant. And three, I'm sick of the notion that D'Antonio was a mediocre recruiter but turned 2 stars into 4 stars. D'Antonio's 2009 to 12 classes, the ones that built the elite program, were ranked anywhere from 20 to 33rd nationally per 24/7 Sports. The 2009 and 10 classes were ranked as high as anything Tucker ever did. Did he punch above his weight, so to speak? Did he find some diamonds in the rough? Absolutely. But when he had it rolling, D'Antonio was a far better recruiter than what people seem to remember.
This is a really good take from Eric because when that staff was hungry in those early years before they got to the Rose Bowl, it wasn't – I mean, yes, they did recruit some 5 stars and 4 stars that were pretty big name guys, and they did so out of Detroit and other places. I mean, but they also – it wasn't like he turned 2 stars into 4 stars all the time as much as they identified guys and their evaluations were just better than some people too. And that's a little bit different of I mean, it wasn't these plucky guys. They were, Le'Veon Bell was a really low-level recruit. Like, how does that happen when you watch Le'Veon Bell run, right? Like, what are we doing here? And there were a number of those guys. Darqueze Dennard, one of the top, I would argue, I think I had him in the top 4 or 5 all time at Michigan State is a player. He was that good as a corner, and maybe that's a little high, but he was really, really phenomenal. The peak D'Antonio, 2012, not taking enough offensive linemen was the beginning of what bit them in the end. But those 9 through 11 classes, especially, were everything you should ever want at Michigan State, and that's sort of what built it. To the first part, I think there is a. It's interesting what I think there is a pressure not to keep duplicating where you are. And for Izzo, he had those 13 loss seasons and they seem to be stuck, and he had that die trying comment and all that stuff. And since then, they've been quite a bit improved, right? You win the Big Ten, you get to an Elite 8, you finish second in the Big Ten, you get to a Sweet 16. They've been much better than those other seasons where they were really closer to the bubble than anything really relevant in the postseason. But now they've sort of done this level that's just below the elite. And you can argue winning the Big Ten by 3 games is elite, but you know what I mean. There's a level that 4 or 5 teams have been better than them the last 2 years, and you don't want to just keep duplicating that, or that becomes a ceiling, right? And I think, especially this coming up year where you have the point guard, and it's not that Carlos Medlock Jr. won't be the next great point guard right behind Jeremy Fears Jr. and you won't be fine. It's not that you won't get a second year out of Josiah Jervis, who all of a sudden is like Jace Richardson 2.0. It's not that these things can't happen year over year, and you can't have a great year beyond this one. But I do think that there is, this is a year where it appears to all be there outside of maybe the center position. You went out, you identified a guy you really like. People should trust that evaluation. They probably paid a fair bit, I would guess a couple million. To get Anton Bonke, and they're going to try and develop their other guys, and it has a chance to be a very, very good team. But if it does fall short somewhere, that's and really the center position would be the only one where it looks like there's a potential hole, then that would be a fair criticism, and then concern that they're not going to actually do this, and you start to wonder about the finances of it. Can they actually contend and compete with the very top? And but yeah, no, I also think they're going to be very good. We will have to see whether there are teams that are a level above them, though, and then I think that's a fair thing to let them prove to people first before we sort of buy in that they're elite.
Dominic next. Number 1, Graham jinxed the Celtics with his apathy on Friday. I won't forget your dismissive tone. Just remember, Chach, if Len Bias doesn't do coke and die, the bad boys don't ever exist, and you'd be sleeping under an overpass on the Dan Ryan with an Orange Crush blanket, punk. I mean, the bad boys aren't going to happen. I mean, is this the first take of Dominic's I don't agree with? 2, sports, not unlike my Diana Rossini's ex-baby maker, are literally AIDS. Nothing but occasional teases before heartbreak and STI tests.
Well, let's go back to the there's lots of history where, again, we just talked about the Franz Wagner thing where you get injuries. If you don't get the the phantom foul call on Bill Laimbeer in the 88 finals, the Pistons probably have another championship and they three-peat, and that's a different thing. The Lakers don't three-peat, right? Or the Lakers three-peat that year? They did not three-peat then. But nonetheless, I don't mean to insult the Celtics.
You kind of were dismissing his Celtics fandom more
than
you were
fair.
Dismissing the Celtics. You were just questioning whether, how did he become a Celtics
Well,
fan?
he's a Celtics and Bears fan.
Yeah.
And I just wonder what created this concoction, Dominic. That's all I'm wondering, because I'm just somebody who's fascinated by fandom, and it comes from all sorts of different little weird pockets. Like, I've talked about my Elway Broncos fandom that just originated when I was 6 years old.
Boy, have you.
And there's a...
By the way, do you remember, when you were younger, finding out Len Bias, it's not like I had access to Coke, but when I was younger, I was like, wait, what? He died from doing cocaine one time? I'm not doing cocaine ever then.
It was...
Right? Maybe it was a good scare tactic by the government.
Well, because we were in first grade, second grade, so the idea, it was a
But I'm saying later on,
right?
When you were reading about players.
But it was an effective tool by Dare, just say no to drug stuff. It was effective. It was like, oh my, because
remember NBA star Len Bias dead? That's what when they showed a picture of him. One time, this man did barely any cocaine, dead.
He would have been I think potentially a similar people who are 17 years younger or something. If the Pistons had drafted Carmelo Anthony in 2003.
Yeah, but we don't win in 04.
Maybe we don't. But, and I just said we for the Pistons, but maybe they don't.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. Fix that in post.
Sure, a sports writer. You can't have fandom.
maybe they don't.
Aha.
But that group, as they age a little bit, and the 2006, 7, 8 teams would then have peak Carmelo Anthony, and so who knows? But the Celtics, again, as they got old,
I would have
had Len Bias.
I would have rather had Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, either way.
Honest with you.
Yeah, that's fine. Either way,
he would have been a fit guy that we could love forever. But yeah. PZ cannot put into words what the last 6 quarters of Detroit basketball mean to me. Bonus. Any MF from Philly who wants to talk sweet about Tobias Harris can catch these hands. Bonus. Arn Slot can get out of my club, you bald fraud.
He's the Liverpool manager, and it's not.
That's how you pronounce it, right? Arn Slot.
Arnie Slot.
Oh, Arnie.
Arn is it Arnie? No, it's Arn. No, it's Arnie.
Well, he doesn't know.
Yeah, it's Arnie Slot. No, I think it's Arnie Slot, but now it doesn't.
Soccer is boring.
That's all you need to know.
It doesn't.
Sloot.
So, here's a question for you: If Pistons Cavs, what do you think the series price is right now
for the Pistons to win?
Yeah,
plus 105,
minus 125,
minus 125. Wow,
they're favored, which I sort of get, and you can get that on the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app if you're looking to bet that. Or
did they watch the Orlando series? Maybe they're not scarred. That's the thing. Vegas doesn't get scarred. I'm still scarred from that series. I'm happy they won, but by God, I don't know if I could lay money on a series price for the Pistons right now and be confident and yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I don't feel good, especially the way they played the Cavaliers in the regular season. Now we can say the regular season doesn't really matter
because that Tyson character for Cleveland apparently can shut down Cade, or whenever Cade sees this asshole, we got to get him out of the game somehow.
The most interesting movement on the sports books that I've seen on Firekeepers and others is the Timberwolves series price against the Spurs. They were plus 600 at one point to win the series, down to plus 375, which I think has to do with Anthony Edwards coming back. But so I hope you got that at plus 600. Again, if you're, you can.
If you're out there just firing.
Yeah, go to the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app, or you can swing by and have the in-house sportsbook experience if you're looking for a place to watch a game. That's great. So is Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask and Company Kitchen and Bar. Front 43, the original sponsor of Couch on the Roof, based on a drunken night watching Purdue, Missouri football in September of 2018. Me and Matt Mancarini, and I thought this place is a fit. Great TV setup. Outstanding menu and drinks, beer selection. On Front 43 in Cask and Company, just north of Frandor, near the Lansing-East Lansing border on East Saginaw.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
We got breaking news.
Oh, no.
It's not bad. Sorry. Tigers left-handed pitcher Tarik Skubal, the two-time reigning AL Cy Young Award winner, to undergo surgery to remove loose bodies from his elbow.
What? You said it wasn't bad.
Well, I mean, he's not dead. Like, I meant the way I said that, I was like, oh, no. Like, I didn't, with my mom thing last week, I didn't want to do that again. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say how long. We're not going to get an answer from AJ. They'll tell us, I don't know, the way those injuries go, they can go one way or the other, and it's either good or bad. And then you see a 60-day IL.
Is that what it is, 60 days?
I don't know. I didn't see.
Hold on.
It just says I got an update on my watch here.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see what we're getting.
Off.
Okay. Yeah. Typically, sideline players 2 to 3 months.
Oh.
This is what Jeff Passon's saying.
Loose bodies? Loose bodies in the elbow. That takes 3 months?
Yeah.
What does that mean? How long's the season? Wait, what is it? What's this month? May?
So, June, week 2. So, end of June, end of July. They get them for the August and September, probably. Because it's never as early as you think.
Jesus.
It's never the front end of that. With
Bullpen chaos.
Holy smokes.
Benetti's going to be in his dream world of being able to say that 95 times. All right.
Glad he won that arbitration case.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Just like these guys are always hurt. I mean,
no shit.
Should we have? I don't know. Yeah, never mind.
I know they're fragile, and I don't think it's the players. Would the players play through some of this stuff if they weren't told, like, hey, you have loose bodies running in your elbow?
How about guaranteed? How about not guaranteed contracts, but pay them more?
I'm going to tell you, if you're going to pay $60 million a year, I love Skubal, unbelievable pitcher. But if you're going to pay $60 million per whatever or more for a guy that's going to be this fragile, like I don't know. I know loose bodies in the elbow are crazy, so I don't want to diminish.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know either. But you're supposed to just go like, oh, okay. Like Casey Mize has a twinge in his fucking pubic hair, and all of a sudden he's out for a month. Or we'll reevaluate him in 2 weeks. Here's pitching chaos where guys pitch. They have 2 pitches. AJ pulled a guy, vest after 2 pitches? Was it him?
Yeah.
Well, what are we doing here? You can't question AJ. It's like, all right.
Well, that was an effective
whatever.
Start.
It's absolutely ridiculous when you try to watch a game. I'm sorry. I'm lashing out because of this fucking elbow thing.
Well, you said it wasn't bad news.
It wasn't as bad as I meant to say. It wasn't a death. Because maybe I came off as it was like someone was dead. Because I go, break anyway.
This seems is warranted.
I get it now.
Yeah.
But I'm reading off my watch. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not Walter fucking Cronkite here. I can't give you the right tone. Is that a timely reference? People know what I'm saying. Mr. W next.
Well, hold on. They are. I mean, at least they're in the worst division in the sport.
It's one of the worst.
And so you don't have to go much above 500 to. And Skubal usually pitches 4.5 innings, and that's it anyway. So maybe it's, I don't know.
That was a good hold on. I appreciated that one. That did make me feel it. Usually I get annoyed at that one.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, there you go.
Mr. W, best take. Oscar Thompson is a generational athlete and defender and will be an all-star next season. Also, it's pronounced Osser, by the way, Graham, not Osser. Bonus take. Dusty May will leave Michigan for the NBA before the end of the month.
He has said he's not leaving for any other college job. I would still be surprised.
I trust college coaches when they say that.
Yeah,
I haven't been burned by that.
Yeah,
I believe this guy.
To me, if you bring in guys, I mean, unless your players truly know that you might not. I mean, at this late in the game, I don't know. I understand somebody's going to leave at some point, but you've got all these guys. And granted, they're being paid now, so they're not being like. It's not like they're suffering to come to Michigan and make a couple million a year. But
are we really going to crown Oscar Thompson here?
Well,
I listen. The blocks and the steals, they were.
He's
great.
doing things that are at our next level.
I understand, but offensively, I mean, come on,
he's got ways to go.
Right.
He does because
sometimes you're just
the thing about Asar is God, that sounded weird. But the thing about him is if he's going to be on your team, and I think he brings tremendous value, and he can do things defensively that other people just can't in the league. right? But he does force you to build your roster a certain way offensively, and that's fine. You just have to do it. And you know, even if he becomes a capable shooter to some degree, he's never going to be a guy who stretches defenses consistently. And so you're going to have to build. You're going to have to get more shooting on that roster to make up for it at other positions. Other positions have to be stronger shooters than maybe they traditionally would be because your wing can't shoot. And so that's something to think about.
Frank Vashner next. Number 1, the Pistons getting their first series win in 18 years is the most gratifying thing since the Lions winning their first playoff game in over 30 years. And 2, do you have any audio of Chad Latt singing Staying Alive in honor of the Pistons' comeback? How about?
Highway to the danger zone, right into the...
Bonus, can we get Paul Davis at Little Caesars Arena to yell, "Your wife is a whore. Your wife is a whore," at random Cavs players? If I had Ishbia money, I would definitely do that. I'd pay Paul to go do that at the Cavs there. Or, "Your wife is a whore." Hey, Paul, here. Here's some Twisted Teas. Let's get ripped. Send you in there.
That just becomes his bit. He gets paid to go around. Yeah.
Ishbia sent me.
You sound like Mr. Ed. You sound like a horse.
Yeah, you're a horse. Your wife's a horse. Oh, shit. Sorry. I didn't mean that. I was just joking. Kurt Wisniewski, I did not see the Pistons coming back after being down 3-1. Even though Wagner wasn't in the last 3 games, the Pistons showed true grit. On to Cleveland. And bonus, MSU football is going to shock other teams this season. Fitzgerald is exactly what the doctor ordered.
What would shocking be to you? Like, what would MSU football have to do for you to be shocked?
9 wins.
So 8 wins wouldn't shock you?
I wouldn't want to be shocked by 8 wins. I was going to say 8, but then I realized I don't want to be shocked by 8 wins.
Okay.
It sounds lame.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because that's not very fair. Like, I would be shocked by 8 wins, but I wanted to say 9.
So, like, I think I want to see from them, like, so you could have a 9-win season and not be that great.
Well, show me that.
Well,
Let's see it.
Right. But you can also be an 8-win season that has a little more, firepower. I think it's more important for the program that they start to look like a team that can muscle somebody up front than it is that they win games. Because if you go to the Holiday Bowl season when they won, when it went 9-3, but they were an overachieving team that year. Like that sort of 9-3 season, I think, is less valuable than a 7-5 season where they have some deficiencies that cost them games, but they can punk somebody up front. I think getting the line of scrimmage.
Don't burn your July column.
Sorry, yeah.
I mean, what are you doing?
I'm taking notes. July column right now. Boom.
I just want to read the comments. Trey Rice, do you think the Pistons would have had a realistic shot of a 90s Bulls run if they won the lottery and had Cade and Wemby for the next 15 years? That pick and roll would have been literally unstoppable. Again, these what ifs. It's just,
But they were the worst team in the NBA the year before, and like in the NFL world,
but it's
they would have
rigged.
got right. No,
it didn't matter how many lottery balls we had.
It would have been incredible to see Cade and Wemby, and that would have been a perfect pairing, and it would have been. 15 years is a long time for guys to stay healthy, but they certainly for a decade, if people stayed healthy, would have been an incredible force. And what makes that is you got 2 guys you're going to pay. Like it takes a lot of the questions. You're just building everything else is parts around those 2 guys, and you'd be a contender every year as long as those guys were healthy, and would have been something. It would have been. Let's take a really quick break. I've got to respond to a text from my mom asking if this bottle is still okay for Cora. So we're gonna just. I just see we'll take a really quick break. We come back. More of your takes. Our Monday show presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and iCasino and Sportsbook app and Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask and Company Kitchen and Bar.
Come enjoy irresistible, award-winning, handcrafted donuts and locally roasted coffee at Groovy Donuts. Surprise your family or coworkers with special holiday designs and flavors, or put the perfect finishing touch on an event with a custom order. Birthdays, weddings, gender reveals, our friends at Groovy Donuts are your answer. Experience the Groovy Donuts difference for yourself on Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing or in Williamston. Get more information or place an order at groovydonuts.com. Ever wonder Wonder how comfortable you can be and how good you can look? Put on a Muskox flannel and find out. Muskox has new arrivals for this fall, including the Caper Green Grand Flannel, which even makes couch look good. Muskox is a Detroit-based flannel company that creates soft and durable flannels made to last a lifetime. They become a great partner with Couch in the Rube, not just because they make us look good and feel good, but because they're good people too, and a socially conscious company. For every $100 purchase, $10 is donated to the Alaska Wildlife Conservation. Muskox flannels are designed with 100% cotton that is ethically sourced and double brushed for softness. Feel the quality and comfort of a Muskox flannel by ordering at gomuskox.com, where Couch in the Rube listeners can enjoy $15 off their flannel purchase with the promo code HOFF. If you're looking for a relaxed vibe, great food, and an outstanding beer selection, Midtown Brewing Company in downtown Lansing is your place. Enjoy their famed chicken and waffle fries, fish and chips, or any of their delicious burgers or salads. Midtown Brewing Company also offers 40-plus beers on tap, including ciders and seasonal offerings and daily happy hour specials. The spacious and cozy vibe makes Midtown Brewing Company a perfect place for a beer with a friend, a work lunch, or to watch the games on its big screen TVs. If you'd rather eat at home, Midtown Brewing Company offers a terrific carryout menu and free delivery on orders of $20 or more. Visit MidtownBrewingCompany.net or stop by 402 South Washington in downtown Lansing for the Midtown Brewing Company experience.
Please like and subscribe to the Couch in the Rube YouTube channel. Also, download podcast episodes wherever you get your podcasts. For sponsorship opportunities, email Jason at couchandtherube.com.
Couch in the Rube, our Monday show, presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. You can download the app. Enjoy the revamped online sportsbook. I think you'll like the user-friendly experience these days. Or just swing on down by to Dacey's Taproom and Sportsbook off I-94 in Battle Creek. And also, our Monday show presented by our friends at Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask and Company Kitchen and Bar. Before we continue, we should also mention that this will be our last show for about 10 days, and we'll be back. We've got another little vacation that happens during the off season.
I have to go to a wedding this week, and
out of
Hilton
town.
Head.
Yeah.
And speaking of the contest, there was a contest winner of the March Madness contest that emailed me. We're gonna get to you guys. I'm sorry. As soon as I'm back, we're gonna have those things sent out to you. I'm not, They were wondering if I sent emails out saying I'm going to send stuff soon. So we'll get to it. Apologize for that, but
we'll get those on, and we'll get Teresa's little factory workers going.
Teacups.org.
Yeah, which by the way, teacups.org. That's not she does amazing work there. So if you want,
I'm not making it. So.
Yeah.
If that's what people think.
Yeah. So she
doesn't let me near that stuff.
Right. Plus, she doesn't want you near the kids that are making it. All that stuff.
All right, don't be weird.
Sorry.
Mayor of Fittstown, number 1, Cade should get Duran's extension money for carrying him out of his chair. And 2, Osser is the most underrated player in the league. And 3, between McGee and Cade, McGee, MCGE. Okay. And Cade, the future of Detroit sports hasn't been this high in 40 years. 40.
I don't know about that.
I'm 47. We had a good run.
Yeah. There have been times where certainly with some false starts on it. Like if you go back to, the Tigers were bad for the whole 90s. But if you go for 40, I guess late 80s is getting near 40 years. You go to Tigers 87, Pistons 80, I guess that's almost 40 years. Fuck.
Wait, maybe it is.
Well, okay, here's one. Okay. Yeah, okay.
No.
95.
Yeah.
95.
Great year.
You get the Red Wings make their first Cup Finals. Lions make that run where it looks like they're really going to do something, right? They win 6 or 7 straight to end the regular season. They lose to Philly in that horrible playoff, but it looks like they have something.
Yeah. Grant Hill?
Grant Hill's in his second year with the Pistons. That was a pretty good stretch. The 03, for a minute we were fooled by Joey Harrington, and the Pistons were on the...
I wasn't.
You weren't? Okay.
No, I wanted Quentin Jammer in that draft. Yeah. I was disgusted.
Maybe not.
Yeah, sucks. Spartan, Tim next. My take, the Pistons are your 2027 NBA champs.
Well,
I don't know if I can get on board with that, Sparty Tim.
Yeah?
I want to. I mean, what?
Well, it's a fascinating offseason. Because, well, a couple things. One, Oklahoma City and San Antonio don't look like they're going anywhere. So you gotta get to that level. And we'll see where the Pistons are, where they end these playoffs, and how far they get and all that stuff.
I just got through that Orlando series.
Yeah.
Exhausted.
But well, go ahead.
No, I was just going to read the next one.
No, there are just a lot of decisions to make. I mean, even guys like Tobias Harris, who is on an expiring deal, you're not going to pay him a lot of money, and yet he's been an essential part of what this is. So you're probably going to lose him during the whole contract situation. You're going to have to add shooting. It'll be, Cade will be there. Asar Thompson will be there. And everything else, I think is.
But I think you keep Tobias if it's a place where he wants to be.
Correct.
If there's going to be an overpay out there, then I'm sorry, he's got to go. But
what I would do with him is I would try to convince him to come on a series of 1 year deals, as long as it will overpay you as the last contract in sort of.
But why does he owe us that? I mean,
he doesn't.
Would he do that?
He does. But does he like where? Wait, maybe he makes more in Detroit on a 1 year. I don't. It's a good question. I don't.
You just don't know which guys care about championships.
Yep.
But TC Brunzi, NBA playoffs used to be the reason people suffered through the NBA regular season, but the NBA playoffs have also become boring. Lots of bad basketball. For comparison, I watched playoff hockey this weekend with teams I know nothing about and was incredibly entertained. Yeah, that's hockey. Playoff hockey is pretty awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I watched Montreal Tampa Bay OT Game 7. It was pretty badass.
You're not alone here. Now, I still enjoy certain NBA matchups, but this is I'll give you an example. In college, college men's tennis, women's tennis for that matter, is taking a beating. Because their sport, there's already been 4 or 5, maybe 5 Division I programs dropped in the last week, and it's where things are going with the, the rev share and the house settlement, and people are looking to get down to the minimum 16 sports, and that's going to happen. And people go, well, who cares? It's just men's tennis. But men's tennis, in terms of the level of play and the feeder system it's become to the pro level, is really good stuff. Like a college tennis match, the emotion behind that is better than most college basketball games. It's just what we like. We just have shitty taste. And the same thing happens with the NHL and the NBA. The NHL is probably a better product. We just have shitty taste, those of us who like the other things.
I grew up playing basketball and love the NBA and hope one day it can come back to somewhat what it used to be.
Well, that too.
But, yeah.
I'm just saying
if you watch what you want to watch. Like you said, the NBA playoffs, I like watching the matchups and get excited for them. But, is it exciting the first quarter, second quarter? Are you riveted? Is it riveting television? No. But, with hockey, it's different.
And I also don't think the NBA is worse than 20 years ago. You go back and watch some of those series 20 years ago.
Sure.
It's not any worse.
I can't disagree with that. Yeah. It's maybe equally as bad. But it's just, I don't know. Matt Salisbury, number 1, that was the game we all wanted to see from the Pistons with other people helping Cade. And 2, that story about Duncan's brother is sad. Makes me yell at him a little less for his defense.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, the ESPN did a piece on his older brother who had, dealt with schizophrenia and killed himself. I urge you to go back and see it. It's one of those things.
I think I heard it though. It sounds depressing. I'll look for it.
We never know what's going on in other people's lives, but there are some real. The scary thing they talk about in that is just the idea of, and I can't remember if it was talked about in the piece or not, but if you're prone to, the substance abuse as a teenager for people who are in their families, have histories, and are prone, especially young men, are prone to schizophrenia and things like that, it can lead to things in your mid-20s that aren't great. And that's something I don't think we talk enough about as a society, because we just think, this doesn't really affect you. And for most people, it doesn't. Good
Lord.
Yeah.
It's turning into all this
sorry.
dark.
Well,
it's probably why it's hard to talk about, because guys like me get uncomfortable when things
Well, you just crack a joke about.
I try because
it's
uncomfortable. You know what I mean? It's what you're saying is honest and true, but it's just good Lord here. It's It's like some of these a minute and a half, save these animal commercials that constantly run. It's just good. You're staring at a dog with one eye. It's like, all right, here's my money. I'm so sorry.
It's the St. Jude ones that just, man.
St. Jude, it's just, they're endless. And it's just like, I am so sorry. Or it's some prescription medication. Like, do you have weird face movements? Like, it showed these people. Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah.
Where it's the weird face movement. I think I didn't even know existed. And now I'm thinking, I'm like, dude, do I do that?
Yeah. No, and
you need
like
medication. Like, it's like this lady behind a counter at some like cell phone place, and all of a sudden the people are sitting there waiting for her to help them, and she's just making these weird face things. It's like, do you have Gardnersia? Whatever disease it is, like, here, take Philip Honus.
Well, and here's the worst thing is so you see a commercial
existed.
You see a commercial about something that involves like chest pain, say.
Yeah.
And you start feeling your own chest. You're like, I don't feel that comfortable today. I don't feel great. And then so you Google something, and now it's in your algorithm.
Don't Google.
And now all I get is like chest pain, that sort of, yeah.
Well, you should. You should be getting that, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're directed towards you. That's good. John Naughty. My opinion doesn't matter, but I forgive Trey Holloman as if he never left. I was there when he defended Sparty for our seniors. Hero for the ages.
I think he'll age well. Again, we talk about levels of golf clap when they come back in 10 years, and there's the Alan Haller level.
That was just Alan Haller.
Yeah. I think Trey Holloman gets a bigger applause than Alan Haller by quite a bit.
Wow.
Even though I think Haller did some good things.
Should have been one of your hot takes.
Well, here's the benefit of Alan Haller. Well,
who would give a less response than Alan Haller should be the question.
Oh, quite a few.
Tucker.
Steve Polanowski.
Because they don't know who it is.
Right.
Who's that white guy? Is that couch up there?
Because, like, for example, one of the things that Alan Haller cared about was the non-rev sports and trying to give them sort of dignity of facilities and give them a chance to be competitive. But in this new age, that's going to be irrelevant anyway. Like, if you're not happy with MSU baseball or MSU gymnastics moving forward or anything, MSU tennis even, like, it's going to be very hard for these sports to compete and to have the budgets to compete. I'm telling you right now, their budgets are not going to be the same. It's going to be a different world for them, and a lot of places. So maybe most teams they play will be in the same spot. But like, you shouldn't expect outside of volleyball, women's basketball, men's basketball, football, and ice hockey. If you expect winning out of anybody else, I got bad news for you, because I think it's going to be tough in those sports. I really do. I think it's going to be tough. A lot of places to build things that are consistent. I think the budgets of those sports are going to be across the board throughout, Michigan State and a lot of places are going to be. They're just not going to be the priorities. And when you have to pay $20 million to football and men's basketball players largely every year, and nobody's complaining about that. Like, that's what people want.
I heard it was $50 million.
No, I'm taking out of the rev share. 20.
Sorry, I thought the football program was $50 million now or something.
No, you get $20 million.
If you want to compete.
It's like 21-some million next year. No, in terms of what it costs for a roster, that's different. That's a separate argument. But in terms of the rev share that's coming directly from your athletic department revenue, that is money that you can no longer use to bolster non-revs. And a lot of places like Michigan State no longer allow collectives near their program. So like the men's tennis program roster that was built in part using the This Is Sparta Collective no longer has that after this year. And so how do you can you recruit, your number one singles player from Greece? Is that a guy who you get to stick around in the future? Now, again, they're not alone. Everybody's dealing with this in men's tennis, so maybe you can. I'm just saying they're playing a different game than they were a couple years ago.
Spartholomew next. You guys are the kings of the end of the show bomb drop. Graham and his staircase murder. Jason and the hot dog condiment he provided for his mom as a baby from last show. You guys are the best. And bonus, Pistons in 6, Dusty to Orlando.
What was the hot dog condiment?
Oh, my mom ate a little bit of my poop. That's
right.
It's a story she told me.
That's right.
Throughout but see, my parents lied to me a couple different times in my childhood. Like, my mom's name was Penny, and she told me when I was a child that Lionel Richie wrote the song Penny about her. So I didn't realize that was complete bullshit till I was like 16.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, for real, Lionel Richie, by the way, no follow-up question for me for all those years, by the way. Like, how did you meet Lionel fucking Richie?
But you expect your parents to not lie to you.
So I don't know. She was pretty, but she said it looked like mustard. I remember that story. She's like, I ate it by accident. Like I licked her finger by accident or something. It's not like she ate a whole little mini Rube sandwich or something of my poop.
It's funny the moments you stop trusting or feel a little betrayed by your parents. Like, I still have a very distinct memory of taking a nap. I did not like taking naps as a kid, but every once in a while it was like, hey, you're going to go to a high school football game tonight when you're like 4 or 5 years old. We need you to take a nap. And so I said I'd do it if my mom stayed with me, and she took a nap too. And she promised she would, and I got up and she wasn't there. And I still remember that, like 4 or 5 years old, that she didn't actually do to her part. I'm like, what?
Have you talked about it?
That's the first time.
I'm saying, have you guys talked about it since? Like, you told her about that?
Oh, yeah, she's very aware. I don't think I napped again. And then
did she give you a reason why?
Like, it was absurd. She's an adult. She didn't want to lie down for like an hour and a half. I mean, that makes sense.
All right.
I remember, in 1988, we fly back from a family trip to England, and we get our car at a family friend's house in Livonia, and we're driving back. We stop at a McDonald's, and we didn't eat a lot of fast food. And from the point of ordering in the drive-thru to the point that we got the food in the drive-thru, I fell asleep in the back seat. And my dad ate my cheeseburger. And I never forgave him. I mean, it was like his whole life until his death, it was like, you owe me a cheeseburger. These are the things you remember, the betrayals and things like that. But again, charmed life here. I'm sorry.
Have kids. Sounds awesome. Janet from her downtown office, apparently. Celtic star Jaylen Brown on his live stream called out the NBA refs' agenda and says flopping has ruined the NBA. I concur. The NBA is unwatchable. The NBA has none of the spark that March Madness captures. And now I worry March Madness's aura is at risk with the greedy tournament extension and bonus. Circling back to my remarks last week, they even made the Kentucky Derby all about women on Saturday. My goodness, enough already.
Well, as a first female trainer to win the Derby, right?
Janet coming through again.
Janet.
What a bit. This is a great bit.
I appreciate
Janet. Enough of these broads already.
My favorite thing is where Janet's location. Like, I think the first one she emailed me from, she didn't, and I could have this wrong, Janet, I apologize, but she didn't want me to actually give her location. I did. I doxed her a little bit. So now she just makes up a different spot wherever she is, or keeps it a little vague. Yeah.
Nice. You can't tell Couch anything if you guys haven't learned. David Jackson, number 1, F the Tigers. F the Tigers were to somehow win the World Series.
Sorry. Sorry.
Fucking kill me. If the Tigers were to somehow win the World Series, you'd learn what the real pecking order for Detroit sports actually is. Number 1, Tigers. 2, Lions, Wings, and Pistons. 2, this big development plan that I must assume will go where I Am West, Munfield, and God knows what other things currently sit sounds horrific. Have you seen a campus map with the plan overlaid on it so we can see what is being destroyed? I don't want my campus ruined.
Yeah, you're not alone. There are a lot of people concerned about this, and it would be like,
I could see David showing up on campus and tying himself to a tree so they can't demolish stuff.
Tie himself to Munfield.
Yeah.
A post in Munfield. Yeah.
Sir, I'm sorry, you have to leave.
If you do that, David, we will do a live show from Munfield with you. Yeah. If you do that, we're out there. Yeah. So
right in front of David.
It'd be amazing. We'll do a live show. Yeah. We can talk about this more. Like, I have not seen, like, I've read the proposals that we had, and I think we may have. Yeah, no, it's a good question. I mean, there are going to be quite a few changes if all this goes through, and there are 3 different proposals. Certainly, Munfield is not going to be as is the IM West area. I mean, they're looking to develop a lot of campus, and a lot of people aren't going to like what they're thinking about doing. I'm not somebody who has the strong emotional feelings about it, but David, you're not going to be alone. I don't think you'd be the only one tying yourself to a post in Munfield.
Ken Chu. The Pistons would be really good if they shot better as a team and baked. Mini pepperonis are the best pepperonis. And bonus, they should allow goalies in the Avs Wild Series. Oh, is that the first series where they don't have goalies? It's guy that doesn't know hockey.
Yeah.
They don't have goalies? Guy that falls for everything.
Mini pepperonis, best pepperonis.
That's a great take.
It is.
They really are undefeated.
One of my biggest addictions in Raccoon Graham's life is like a bag of pepperoni.
Jesus.
Yeah, I just love it.
Do you ever catch a look at yourself like?
Oh, it's disgusting. Yeah, you walk by a mirror and you got like a little grease on your chin or something. Yeah, it's just everything you don't want.
And then you go, they are delicious, and just move on. That's what I do.
Yeah. I try to rationalize it at some point, and the next day I have a really good food day or something like that.
Sometimes I look down and our carpet there, it's like there's just so many things on. I'm like, Jesus.
Just things you dropped, food you dropped?
Yeah, because granola or some of these other, what's this other shit I eat? this other crunch. It's like a cereal, but it's in a bag, and I'm just like, oh man.
Well, see, now I
hammer during games because I nervous eat during games.
Now I can blame
Catalina
Cora.
Crunch. Sorry, go ahead.
No, now I can blame Cora for it because like she'll spit up on like 4 of my shirts a day sometimes, and so it just mixes in with the yogurt I've already spilled. It's like,
but that's only one color. You got to wait till she gets older.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, Sparty Barb, next. Number 1, the Pistons will need a minimum of 25 bench points per game if they're going to make it to the NBA Finals. And 2, Josiah Jervis will win Big Ten Freshman of the Year. And 3, building a hotel as part of Spartan Stadium makes sense if it's a replacement for the Kellogg Center. Buildings that prioritize the students are the ones that truly belong on campus. And bonus, shout out to Ozan Barris for a great career at MSU. I hope he turns pro.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was interesting. Talking to him, he thought if the 5th year was allowed, and he, by August 1st, he was going to come back for another year. The thing about pro tennis and the thing about college tennis, first of all, that is really good, is that now you can play in a number of pro tournaments as a college player. So you can work on your ranking. You can get all the stuff that's around you, the infrastructure that's around you of a good college program, especially if you're in an elite college program where you have a lot of good competition and practice, and still play in some pro tournaments. And so I think, but once you're out there, it is a lonely world trying to make a living and get up to a level that, you're traveling on your own. You're going from challenger event to overseas to, different countries, different cities. You go somewhere, you lose right away. You got to, you don't make hardly any money. You got to fly to the next place. It is and you can't afford really to have much of a team around you until you make a certain amount of money. So it is an unforgiving, difficult business as a pro, and I think at this point I think these guys get a real sense of that early in their college careers because they're able to play a number of these events.
John, next. 1 piece of parenting advice: always choose the sport with a clock. When the game has a clock, you know exactly when it will end. There's structure and at least some hope of planning the rest of your day. Especially important if Tyrone comes along and joins Cora in the world. Which sports don't have
Well, you want
like clock?
Lots of, if you go to a baseball game, Little League baseball, no clock. Swim meet, no clock.
There isn't a clock on little, even if it goes.
I don't think you just play the innings. I mean, sometimes they have a limit. Yeah, I guess. But yeah, it's a good. I didn't think about that. You want a clock. That's a good.
I just love how much Elizabeth hates the Tyrone talk, the possibility of a Tyrone couch.
It couldn't happen.
It always makes me laugh when I see Tyrone now.
She, not only does she hate the possibility, she hates when I bring it up. This is part of the show. She would cringe. She just hates it. I mean, that's
my favorite.
By the way, David, I will send you the link to the story Carly Graham did on the MSU Stadium District because it does have some really good detail and it has some renderings and things like that I think will give you a sense of what things could look like. It will be a different campus if this were.
Are you back to talking to David Jackson? You said David.
Yeah.
Are you sending him a map? Aren't we 2 guys past that?
Yeah, I know, but I just started thinking about it.
I understand.
Yeah.
I just was wild. I'm not.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't.
I don't. Your brain.
I don't think I answered his question very well, and I felt bad about it.
All right, Joseph Stetz, watching Jace Richardson get splinters in his ass on the Orlando bench versus the Pistons really chapped my ass. MSU could have made the Final Four, maybe even won the Natty had he stayed in East Lansing. We couldn't come up with enough scratch to keep him at MSU for 1 more year?
Yeah, I mean, I talked about this in the intro. I think that, I don't think the finances would have been the issue had it been a year later. But based on, again, maybe they should have done it anyway. And 1 year, even if they matched it for 1 year, he's getting 4 years guaranteed or 3 years. He's getting more money. I think he'll make, I want to say $16 million over the life of the contract or something like that. So there's nothing you could do to really guarantee that kind of money. You could guarantee $3 million or 1 year of it. So I think that's part of it too. I think he wanted to, all of a sudden the NBA wanted him. He wanted to go do it. And he's a guy who had a very serious knee injury that nearly ended his career before college. And I think that is something that was also on his mind. But yeah, I don't think it was he had a good experience at Michigan State. You don't get to be, one of the things, he got to be a star for a little while, but sometimes when you leave early, that's the last time in your life you get to be a star in this sport, right? You go, your best case scenario, you're a role player in the NBA, and it's still a really good life. But there's something to getting to be the man, and you get to do that. And certainly a backcourt this year with Jase Richardson and Jeremy Fears Jr. would have been incredible.
The Casey Anthony of Southern Maine next. Saturday night was my daughter's prom. Sunday morning, her boyfriend came over and brought me a Dr. Pepper. If he thinks I'll forgive him for whatever happened after prom, he is wrong. It will take more than my favorite soda if you tried to take my daughter's virtue. Oh, is that what we're calling it now? Virtue.
Yeah. Boy, he brought you a soda, and did he wink at you? What made you think he did anything wrong?
Why? What is that? Why would you wink at Dad?
I don't know. You don't wink at Dad. I don't
put your fingers under his nose. Hey, Pops? I mean, what are you talking about? Really, why would he wink at the guy?
We'll fix this in post. I apologize.
I'm sorry, Couch is weird.
I'm just saying, what made you think because he brought you Dr. Pepper that you're worried about? What makes you think? Because
that's what guys do after after
prom. Yeah,
take their virtue. Sunshine Spartan. Number 1, Pistons finally decided the playoffs started yesterday. And 2, Graham in 17 years will only allow Cora to go to prom only if he picks the date when he'll be 72 years old. 3, had my first gummy. Jason, does the feeling change each time you have one? I mean, it depends on how much you take, which kind. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It can change. They all should be good times, though. So, all right, Professor, with the injuries and leaky bullpen, the Tigers feel snake-bitten. Can I declare snake-bitten before the All-Star break? Well, Professor, I got some news for you.
Yes.
Broke before you wrote these in. Bonus. Parents do not know how to properly buy snacks for youth soccer. Nobody wants a bag of chili-flavored Fritos at 10 a.m. on a 45-degree morning. Damn, that sounds good right now.
But 10 a.m., I get that. Yeah. So, I mean,
I don't know. 45-degree day gets me out of it, but I think if it was a nice day, 10 a.m., give me a little Fritos.
What's the best youth sports snack?
Oh, Jesus. Come on. Save it for July.
Brownies.
We get 2 shows out of that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, the Tigers at this point, they are snake.
Orange slices?
You have to hope that this might be the rise of Verlander, right? He comes back and he has 2 great months. That's what you need. Yeah.
Matty B next. This guy. Michigan and Dusty say they're going to be above $10 million for basketball. So that means football gets $12 million? We know that's not the case. So how are they doing it? Because you say collectives aren't allowed, but the champion circle is well advertised while we do nothing.
So this is the question. I don't think anybody's doing nothing. But because let me tell you this right now. Jeremy Fears Jr., if he's making $3.5 million next year, which I think he might, that's not coming from the rev share entirely. That's not how that's working, because there's no way you could afford one basketball player. Like Michigan State's roster next year will be $10 million, I think. I mean, my guess is you just take yeah, I mean, there's just no way it's much below that if not there. And so that's not all coming from the rev share. You can do things within your the play fly and Learfield sports stuff and all that, all your media rights folks and other things that you can. I mean, look what Duke's doing with Amazon, right? There's a little creativity with your media rights folks that's where you do it. But you need guys to already be on campus to do so. But it's a fair question. It's one that should be asked because, again, if it's not pay for play, technically within the rules, and the rev share is like $21.5 million or whatever it's going to be next year, I think that's about what it is. Even if nothing is going to any other sport, which usually there's a little going to something else, football needs $15 million, is going to get $15 million of that. And so if your basketball team's costing more than $6 million, that question should be asked. And if they don't want to answer, that's fine. But it's a legitimate thing. I mean, I just think in our profession, my profession, we're screwing this up or not screwing it up, but we're falling short and not at least inquiring about the mechanisms that are paying for things and how they're doing them and how they're doing them on the up and up based on the rules that are in place. And if nobody's following the rules, that's fine. We can just say it. But then people need to say F the rules. If they're publicly saying, like so many ADs are, that we're not going around the rules, and then they've got a $40 million football roster, well, that's bullshit. So let's at least ask the question.
Scotty Green's El Camino next. This current NIL model and the cost of football rosters isn't sustainable. I don't see a scenario where a bunch more non-revenue sports aren't cut at Power 5 schools. Sad for these kids who otherwise would have had a dream of being a D1 athlete. And bonus. Couch, what's the thigh evaluation on Ethan Taylor? This reminds me of the scene from 40-Year-Old Virgin. You know how I know you're gay?
I've not seen Ethan Taylor's thighs up close yet. I will have an evaluation after the exhibition season or a couple practices.
Tyler, which one of you would look better with the Jake Rogers mustache?
The Rube, by far. I would look ridiculous.
We might have to do some Chat GPT on that. We'll
Just
see.
somebody, yeah. I mean, I would look like a pedophile, I think. Yeah, it would not be good.
Rich Searing, number one, Izzo's die trying meant that he'll die trying to prove his way still works better than the new way is using the portal and paying for top guys. And two, Izzo owes it to the existing players on the roster to use the portal to get the best players available to win a natty. And three, sorry I forgot to mention before, but congrats to Graham on having sex and becoming a dad.
Appreciate you, Rich. I don't think Izzo's die trying meant he'll try to prove his way. I don't think it's about that. It's about doing with what he feels comfortable, which, again, it includes transfers, includes paying players, but keeping a culture that he feels is important. Can he build a roster that way? But he's not proving his way works. I think he's trying to do it within his way. I don't think he's out to there's probably a small part of him that wants to prove that, but I don't think what he meant that way. But I do agree with number two. Like when you have a roster that's that close or that's close enough, you do owe it to everybody else on that roster to try to complete the roster.
People are nuts. I'm not nuts. They're nuts.
Dino Spumoni, Nick Baumgartner saying MSU fans should be more optimistic with football than basketball when it comes to MSU in Michigan has got to be the most puzzling quote ever. MSU Hoops has a Hall of Fame coach. MSU football has a coach with a losing record compared to a 20-year winner.
I didn't hear Nick say this. On
our show?
He didn't say it on our show.
Oh.
Did he? I don't think so.
I
might have blacked out for that part. But
some I usually do.
Yeah.
Those.
Where did he say it? He just said it on. Maybe he said it on Twitter or something like that. I don't know if he's just.
That would be
trolling
hilarious
people.
if he did say it on the show.
We both have no idea. Missed it. Sounds about right.
John Johnson, how does MSU get competitive in the NIL world where if you get any NFL talent but aren't competitive, the NFL talent gets poached? Seems like a slow death to the program where it's almost an impossible task to become relevant again unless you decide to spend 10 times year over year.
I think what you have to do is you have to have momentum. People have to have good experiences, and you have to be able to pay competitively, and people have to see the light. And they also are worried about their own – like guys I don't think want to transfer. I mean, a lot of guys don't want to just leave and start over constantly. And so if they feel like they're being coached well, if they see a path to the NFL, if they feel like your program's, close enough to winning, I think it works. I think the problem with something like last year and what they've had at Michigan State is when they don't feel that. And it's not that I don't think the players felt they weren't being coached well, but it was more like they didn't feel momentum of the program. Every player could feel a coach was going to be fired. And the year before, it was headed in the wrong direction, right? When the way they lose 5 straight at the end or whatever it was and how they were playing. I think it just needs to feel different. The vibes need to be different. You don't, there may be some guys who are looking to play for the best possible program next year. And, but if Michigan State was felt like they were on the upswing and Nick Marsh believed in everything that was going on around him, I'm not sure he leaves for Indiana. I'm not sure that Indiana is obviously the national championship and the national champion, and maybe he would have done it with that opportunity, but he had the opportunity to leave there before and didn't. I don't think that's a necessarily a thing that has to happen. It's a challenge. It's no doubt. It's a challenge. It's different than it used to be.
All right, Evan next. If Dwayne Stevens was still an assistant coach, he'd have Bonke going in the first round of the draft by the end of his senior year. And baked, Fitz lands a 5-star this year, and the NBA is boring.
He's gotten 2 4-stars, something like that. Yeah. Well, I mean, we always joked about that with coaches. We'll see if a 5-star happens. I'm curious to see what happens to Dwayne Stevens' career. He's still a young enough guy. He's made good money, but maybe not retirement money yet, depending on everything. Maybe he has.
It depends on where you're going to retire.
Yeah.
I'm out to Ovid, Dwayne.
But he's young enough that I think he'll have another stop. And I'll be curious if it happens at Michigan State or if he works for Montgomery or what happens.
All right, Keith Stupera next. The NBA is garbage. I watched Pistons and Magic Friday night. Worst basketball I've ever seen.
Well, it was an interesting game, though. I mean, it wasn't.
At the end?
Yeah. The way they came back was interesting, right? I mean, the first half was garbage, yeah.
Orlando missing all those shots, yeah. Richard Kane, gambling and the various scandals around it causing lots of NBA fans to question if games are rigged is a bigger threat to league integrity than tanking. Thoughts?
Well, you gambling in terms of league integrity, yes. In terms of league interest, it's a good question because if too many teams are tanking, it's a problem. And if it doesn't feel like if you got 10 teams tanking for the last 2-3 months of the year, that's a problem in the league. There's too many games night in and night out where one team isn't really trying to win. And it's about who they put on the court, and it's not actually the guys on the court not trying, which could be different if you have a gambling situation. So, you're probably right that gambling is a bigger threat than the tanking.
Thomas Zambiasi next. Glad the Pistons charged back in this opening series, but if Bickerstaff isn't as on his game in the playoffs, they should keep him for the regular season success, but hire an assistant who specializes in coaching during the playoffs to shore up that bit of the team. Bonus, the NCAA is going to go back to the 64-ish team format after 5 years when the play-in rounds get NIT-level viewership. They can't recoup the money they're spending to add the extra round.
Yeah, I don't think this is about money. The more I read on this, I mean, they may eventually be about money, but I don't think they're going to make extra money initially. The contract is out another 5 or 6 years. The TV deal, that's not getting reworked. It costs money to put on these games. It's not an extra week of coverage. The Masters is when it is. This is about, to me, there may be money for individual programs a little bit and leagues a little bit, but this is not a money play. This is coaches and administrators wanting more of their teams in the tournament. And that's what, if it was money, you could understand it. Greed makes the world go round, all right? Whatever. You'd hate it, but at least there would be. This isn't even about money. These assholes just want to be in it and not lose their jobs, and it's all about their own. It's complete ass. It's complete ass.
All right, Couch on Fire. What a Kentucky Derby race. Classic 23-1. Dang, missed that one. And bonus, Nelly Korda 6 starts in 2026. First, second, first. Amazing player at the apex of her game.
It's an incredible run, isn't it?
She's the best. I hope I can see her in person one day. She's amazing. Shep, I generally agree with a lot of Rube takes, but is not wanting to get into the Pistons because he hates the NBA take his ass. This Pistons team has been such a joy to watch. Reminds me stylistically of the Bad Boys and the Going to Work squad. They've definitely got me back into the NBA over the last few years. Perhaps the mind-blowing excitement of the Crest Toothpaste Little Rock Open presented by gluten-free Pringles is more your speed. And bonus, the Kentucky Derby is ass. A mindless 4-hour pregame show leading up to the 2-minute event. Okay, what are you talking about? I'm back into the Pistons. I've watched pretty much every game this year. Shep, I hate the way the NBA is going, but I've watched every game. So what are you listening to? Do you listen to the podcast or what? Couch? Is that my take about the Pistons? I hate the way the NBA is going currently. Yes.
Yeah, but you like the Pistons.
But not wanting to get into the Pistons is not a take I've said once on this show.
You've loved this Pistons team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's bizarre to me. Okay. Bob in Fort Myers. I'm not watching Pistons Game 7 because the Game 7 I watched last night, Philly versus Boston, was such a chore. Followed by the absolute dumbest post-game questions by some ditz reporter. I was a season ticket holder when the Pistons were in the Palace, but I can't force myself to care about the NBA these days. Can Graham speak to reader interest level for the Pistons in the Lansing area or even statewide? When I live stream Metro Detroit's 97.1, Mike Valeni often plays a dial tone sound for lack of interest in Piston topics, while Tigers, Lions, Wings, and Michigan MSU topics never seem to lack listener engagement.
Yeah, you see it here. How many people want to talk Pistons, and when they're interesting, people do. It's like anything. When the Pistons aren't interesting or aren't relevant or aren't exciting, they're not an auto. They're not like the Lions where it's an automatic.
They just won their first playoff series in 18 years. That's why no one's into it.
Yeah.
I don't blame anyone for not being into the Pistons. It's been brutal.
Yeah, but if you look at their numbers, and I see page view numbers, when you look at their numbers, when they're good and they're interesting, people are into them.
Sure. Jarrett, Louisville basketball squeaks into the tourney and loses in the play-in.
I don't know where this take came from, but okay. Thank you, Jarrett.
Lions reply guy, does Kyler Murray scare you at all with the Vikings? With Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah.
He scares me first, and then Kyler Murray. And, Big John Hogg. Number 1, Tottenham wins again. They're going to stay up. F West Ham. 2, took a drive through the thumb this weekend. Convinced Hoffa is buried out there somewhere. And 3, no golf course in Michigan should be charging over $100 before Memorial Day. Greens fees are getting outrageous.
That's ass, man. $100. Yeah. It's chilly out. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm not happy with what happened with Tottenham and the way that Aston Villa just played an ass squad and an ass performance because they were between European games and gave Tottenham a win, essentially. And Tottenham did play well, but it sucks because right now it does look like Tottenham's going to stay up.
C. Tullis is lowered. Interested in what you are hearing MSU hockey and their possible roster next year? The State News did a decent take, but didn't mention Mason West.
Yeah, we'll get Nate Bott on that, and we'll have him do a piece. I've not talked to Adam Nightingale lately or what's going on, but look, they've been recruiting at a pretty incredible level. I don't know if they're going to be quite as talented as they were this past year. We'll see.
Tigers fan 63, you get to compete as any pro athlete in history for one game. Who are you? You get to perform live as any musician in history for one concert. Who are you? Write that down, Couch. Copy and save that for July.
Isaiah Thomas, 1989 on one leg, throwing up 25.
Freddie Mercury live at Wembley, right?
Oh,
that concert.
Yeah, okay.
That gives me chills when I watch that. It's wild. MSU Stan, how long until Graham turns into Hondo Carpenter and posts hashtag fatherhood rocks? If God is real, you will put that hashtag.
Oh, my God. That'll be my new thing. I don't want to be that.
You and Hondo got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Maybe we should get together, he and I.
You guys should.
Over a steak or 6.
All right, Jake Hawkins, number 1. Wow. Just when I had written the Pistons off, they pull some magic out of their sleeves, being down 3-1 to the Magic to beat them and move on. Feels like 2003, beating Orlando and still will, because I still say the Pistons ceiling is the Eastern Conference Finals, where I think they'll come up short. And 2, as much as I like the NBA on NBC coverage, especially John Tesh's roundball rock theme music, perhaps the Peacock Network was a jinx for the Pistons. First round games against the Magic on NBC. The Pistons went 0-3 while going 4-0 on ESPN or Amazon Prime. And 3, Jason, if you don't understand what the big deal is about drug methamphetamine, I highly recommend you watch Breaking Bad. You'll see how addicting and how valuable it is. Plus, it's a damn good show. I guess I do not explain myself well, because I understand. I sit there and I ramble and I say maybe I don't make any sense. But Hawk, I know about the drug methamphetamine. I just don't know why people do it when you see everyone and their faces falling off. That's what I didn't understand. I know about the show Breaking Bad. I know about methamphetamine. Someone sent me an email, I think it was Janet from her Detroit office, about fucking everybody's taking Adderall and that's a form of methamphetamine. Like, I know that. I'm just saying about the methamphetamine where you put lighter fluid with it and somehow it makes your face fold in or something. That's the one I'm talking about. Anyway, Hans Jurgen, get us out of here. Number 1, I've lost 40 pounds and still have man tits.
Muskox flannel, man. That's what you need.
That's brutal. 2, Tigers are better off without Jansen and Vest. And 3, our community is better off without Graham. Bonus. Jason Benetti loves to say pitching chaos more than life itself.
Well, there's going to be a lot of it, minus Skubal for a while. So you might be right about the community better off without me. I apologize for myself. We will be back after Jason gets back from this wedding. He's going to be on a yacht somewhere in the South Pacific and doing it up for the next few weeks with next few days with his in-laws. Good luck to you.
Thanks,
sir. We appreciate Firekeepers and the Firekeepers Casino and Sportsbook app. Download the app, bet the games, get in on the Tigers or the Lions, the Pistons series price. Maybe bet against the Tigers the rest of the way, or at least tonight minus Skubal. We appreciate Front 43 and Cask & Company. Go to caskandcompany.com. Make a reservation today. We will talk to you soon. Good show, man.
Yeah, man.
Couch in the Roof.